drop, I know they gon' lean. World debut, I know they gon' fiend. Everything Mississippi to the Palm Springs. Girls from brunettes down to blonde queens. You know you like that. 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 You know you like that.
Welcome to the 2026 Western Ultimate League season here in Portland, Oregon. The Soar taking on the Colorado Alpenglow. First game for both teams. First poll from the Soar about to go up. I am Bobby Goff, and I am joined here in the booth by Chris Lee. Chris, before this poll goes up, can we just get a quick vibe check? What are your thoughts on how both these teams are about to enter this new season?
Absolutely. Thanks so much, Bobby. Excited to be here. It is a beautiful day to be playing.
Beautiful.
Some disc. And Soar, last season was 0-6 record, but they had a lot of really close losses. So I think, coming out and seeing some momentum, building foundation is going to be really important. For Alpenglow, really different season, 6-0, then had a tough time in the playoffs. So I think, they want to continue that success and then be able to build off of that.
Yeah, I agree. And we are off in this game. Let's see what both teams want to offer each other as they start to reveal their strategy. This is May Hecht over for Ito.
Nice controlled disc movement to start off.
Yeah, our first big gainer over to Thorpe, who's going to be gaining a lot of yards today. Waringa. Looks like we have a call here on this near side. And Chris, one of the strangest things about playing here in Portland is the playing conditions down there. I'm sure on stream it looks beautiful and perfect, but what does it feel like down there? I know you were walking around a bit.
Yeah, we were both walking the field. It's a nice day. It's about 59 degrees when the pole went up, but it is very cold in the shade, and also you can see the flags are moving. There is a wind coming from the right side of the field. It's the north there, and it's mostly straight on right now, but I could see it, potentially shifting over a little bit. That end zone on the right side in particular is a really tricky wind situation, so we'll see if that comes into play later.
Yeah, and it feels like it's constantly changing here, so expect a little bit of weirdness here. Nice job by the Soar to kind of slow this Colorado offense down. They're 20 yards out.
Yeah, I think, this is the first game for both teams. There we go. There's the first score.
Yeah, nice touch throw to the far corner. I think Abby Thorpe throwing that for the first goal of Colorado's season. Nice little point there. Patience from Colorado. A little staunchiness from Oregon. I'll try to catch the number of that player that scored over there in that coffin corner. But we're going to get ready for our next point here, too. Time moves quick in the Western Ultimate League.
That's what you want to see to start your season off, right? A clean hold on offense to start things off. No better way to get into the season.
Yeah, no turns. A couple of short, quick conversations with the referees. Nothing too bad.
Yeah, on the Soar side, they definitely put some pressure on the disc in the backfield. So, defense trying to make some things happen.
Yeah, Sylvie Barnes with a near layout D in that last point. Expect them to continue to operate in that space. Maggie O'Connor, first year with Alpenglow here. They are Southwest legend. Excited to see them on this squad. It's going to start here with Matonis. Resetting things this near side for Merle Hammond back after a couple of time off.
Oh, nice grab.
Jelly Boyden has seen every kind of throw and caught all of them. No stranger for them.
Yeah, that looks like mid-season form for sure.
Hammond now sneaks one in. Nice high to low disc movement here for the Soar. Takahashi, returner from last year. Nice patience here again from Soar this time. Boyden playing catch with Hammond.
Yeah, if you're not used to watching WUL, that 7-second stall definitely coming into play.
Hammond now, doorstep. Luke can't quite get there. Boyden on the reset. High stall, small window, punches it through. Zoe Luke. We have 2 clean scores to start this one.
Fantastic grab by Zoe Luke.
Yeah.
She's one of their top players from last year, so no surprise she's got the scoring started for them.
Yeah, I'd call 2025 a breakout year for Zoe Luke, for Zook, who had a nice season on Schwab, the local club team, the year before, but really started taking over the offense for the Soar last year and then did the same thing for Schwab shortly after. So I think they're going to look to them to fill a lot of their stat sheets.
So both teams starting off with clean holds.
Yeah.
I'm sure their coaches are happy about that.
Yeah, it's no matter if you're a returner or a rookie, it's nerve-wracking to be out there for your first point. No better way for both squads to start. Got some different personnel for the Soar defense. See if they can generate a block this turn. McCarthy. Over to Nelson. Thorpe again. A bit low at the knees. That's their first turnover of the game. The first look for the Soar defense.
Great break opportunity here for Soar.
Yeah, Winterbottom here. Yeti, they call her. And a quarterback here. Wide open underneath Osborne. And tries to go back to Winterbottom. Not quite there. Alpenglow a bit lucky to get this one back. Although they're going to have quite a ways to go here.
Yeah, another drop. That's tough.
Here's Hecht. Has Nelson here. One of the faces of the league here, Ari Nelson. Over the top from McCarthy.
Nice patience from Alpenglow.
And no team able to get a second big chunk of yards in a row here. Both defenses keeping it to 1. Let's see if Thorpe can break through. They're going to give it a go. Egan against Ito. Egan gets the nice read and block.
Fantastic read by Egan. That's exactly what you'd want from one of your team captains.
Yeah, just 2 gamers down there, Egan and Ito. I'm excited that they're matching up right now.
Yeah, that'll be something we'll want to watch this game.
Ito's been playing in Colorado and DC and winning for basically my whole Ultimate career. Great player to watch here. If you're new to the sport, keep your eyes on number 4 in the white.
Another tough drop.
Yeah, no yards gained to get past after that block. Hecht tries to go fast, not let this nice defense get set up, but it's a bit too far.
Soar maybe got a little lucky there with that fast break look.
And those are the kinds of throws I think that this tricky shifting wind are going to affect the most. You think it's kind of a layup away shot, but that wind is shifting. It's hard to get the right touch on it.
And that's one of the keys I'm looking for here, Bobby, is both teams controlling the middle of the field. Soar this last possession had a hard time making any progress. They're doing a little bit better here.
Yeah, and this group doing a nice job grinding down this near sideline. And after a tip ball, Jamie Johnson keeps the Soar alive, and we're going to take our first look into the break end zone. Winterbottom inches away from our first break.
I like that look a lot.
Yes. Right time and place, I think.
Yeah, it was off her hands. It had a really good shot.
Yeah, Nelson's not going to play around in their own end zone. Going big for McCarthy, who's got a bunch of yards at this point. And here's Ito again. who is not going to let that one get past them. Colorado has a long hold with a lead 2-1.
Well, the first 2 points were all about shaking rust off and playing really textbook. This next point really changed the script. It was great to see some long shots from both teams. Take advantage of the nice weather.
Yeah.
Hear the Oregon Soar home crowd getting into it.
Oh, yeah. They deserve a shout out already. They're kind of a new organization starting last year, and they have been building and building in the community, and it has really turned into what I think is easily the best fan experience of Pro Ultimate in Portland in my time here.
I saw some signs as I was walking into the game. That's super exciting. Love to see that level of excitement.
Yeah, and the Soar roster is just so cool. Some returners, some people returning from breaks, some brand new pros out here. A lot of people to support.
Boy, yeah, Bobby, I think that's...
Tries to switch the field.
I think that'll be one of the keys for Soar. They have so many new players on their roster, even if they didn't play last season, maybe coming back from Onyx or something like that. Just being able to build a foundation and get some flow and chemistry going early here.
Yes, and they've had that so far. That's just a couple of technical miscues. Those are going to happen. But they seem pretty connected here, but they're going to have to be pretty good here as their offense is facing their first break. Here's Guy.
Oh, I think that's in.
Slips it up line for Grace Brown, and Colorado really quick has the first break of the game. They're up 3-1.
Wow. That was great. Great job by Alpenglow to get that little bit of a miscue and turn it into something. We saw in last year's game when these two teams played, Soar came out to an early lead and weren't really able to hold on. I think if they're able to keep it close early here, would be a success, just knowing how many new players you're integrating and building that chemistry. It's one thing to do it in practice, but then to be able to come here in a game situation with the fans and the pressure, it's entirely different. So I think they can be happy with their start so far if they're able to keep this momentum.
Yeah, I like what I've seen so far. One little mistake hurts pretty hard on that point, but it is early here. We got 3.5 quarters left here in Portland. And here's a kind of a second O-line look here from Soar. Barnes. He's going to play catch with Wen Torres, who we will certainly be talking about. They're a great story.
Oh,
They've
absolutely.
got it here in the middle. The big lefty from Mexico City. Again, Torres. Stall rising. Has to put it a lot of space. Ava Peterson has the veteran immediate push forward for her buddy Sylvie Barnes. And the Oregon Soar with their second O-line strike right back.
Well, what a huck by Wendy Torres. That was, probably pretty high in the stall. We're not sure what the count is, but I know I was getting nervous.
I felt it.
And it worked out really well for the Soar. Such a great story. Torres right now actually commuting, you mentioned, from Mexico City.
So cool.
To be able to part of this team, and that's something this team, looking at the roster, they have such a diverse set of backgrounds. I counted players from 16 different states on the Soar roster as their hometown, 2 different countries, which was really awesome. And I think that's something they're really, really proud of. And it'll be really cool for them this season to be able to bring all those different backgrounds together on the field as a team. Not an actual assist for Torres, but I think the hockey assist counts.
We'll count that. Colorado offense back out here. Looks like the same grouping that they've brought out. Nice possession keeper here. Hecht. He's going to try to find the gap to Kawabata, but a bit too low. Oregon, this group going to get another look at a break. They were 2 inches away last time they had this opportunity. Here's Egan.
Wide open.
Wide open. You can see a little bit of the nerves even when you're wide open.
Yeah, maybe that's on me. Shouldn't have jinxed it.
First games are hard. Here's Egan with 10 yards to go. And a little bump. And a little, maybe a injury call here. I think we will play on. That's Winterbottom Yeti over there on the high side. Has to get it off, puts it out to space. Great job running that down by Lauren Carr.
No.
And there's Sarah Ito making another huge play. That's 2 for them already.
Couldn't capitalize on the break opportunity. Did get some yards back, though, so.
And again, trying to attack this near side. That's 2 or 3 now in this game from both teams combined, just floating it over the top.
Yeah, and you can see the flags are dead.
Yeah.
So not a lot of wind over there, but potentially some over here.
Yeah, every flag you look from our booth kind of telling a different story.
And that was definitely the case during warm-ups. I heard some of the players talking about it's a weird wind. And that would probably explain some of these throws.
Yeah, Lamont. Here's Chloe. Yamasaki Lisic's first touch. Egan touching it almost every other.
Nice patience from Soar here.
Yeah, great job by the marks here. I'm seeing a lot of room on the break side, but throwers are not comfortable trying to sneak it over. Doing a great job. Going high to low. 10 yards out again here. Here's Lamont. Winterbottom is not open, but goes over the top. We are marked in. Caitlin Osborne gets the break back for the Soar. We are all tied 3-3.
Great job with the footwork to stay in bounds there. It's tempting when it's up in the air to just go attack that immediately, but Observer had the call. That is in. I believe that's a break for Soar.
Yeah. Yeah, after a couple chances now, that might have been their 5th break chance there after back-to-back kind of choppy points here for this Alpenglow offense.
That was a very long point. We've, I believe, got about 1:16 left in this quarter. So that'll be interesting to see what Alpenglow do here receiving the disc, if they try and hold on for possession or if they try and score quickly. I think both are options for them.
Yeah, and they do bring out Rena Kawabata, Abby Thorpe again are going to stay on the point, but after those long points, you kind of need to bring in your second group on offense. It's a huge factor in these leagues with the pace of play. You just have to use your whole roster.
Really different from playing club. You know you're playing to 15 a lot of times. The time component, definitely different for the WUL.
Here's Kawabata trying to use the width of the field. Takahashi is down there. Kind of goes up too early, though. Falls right into the lap of Guy. Now Alpenglow in the red zone. Crucial possessions here, red zone possessions in this league. If you can convert here, you're going to do pretty well, and Alpenglow do just that.
And that was a very quick possession. That took just over 30 seconds for them to get down the field and score. So seems like that was part of their strategy, and it worked out really well. Tough break for Takahashi. I think maybe just mistimed that. She certainly had position on that throw. But we know Noelle, she's a fantastic athlete. I'm sure she wants that one back.
Yeah, it's tough when you get there, when you read it so well and you just have to kind of wait for it. I think that was Alexandra Guy again, caught the huck and I believe caught the score.
I was talking to some of the coaches for Alpenglow before the game, and that was one of their focuses for the season. They wouldn't tell me too much about what their strategy was, but
wise.
One of their goals was to get some different looks than what they had last season. They felt like that's something that they struggled with, so it'll be interesting to see how that plays out in this game. First game for both teams.
Maggie O'Connor sends it off again. Takahashi comes back on the field for this 0 point. Matonis and Boyden in the backfield.
Side stack here for Soar.
Yep, they're going to try to get to the back of the stack here for Takahashi. There's room over the top. She opts against it. Matonis up line. Sneaks it through. Luke keeps it going. Ping pong all the way. Foot on the line. Soar think they've done it, and the referees agree. They get a quick hold with 7 seconds left on the clock. We got ourselves a tie ball game, 4-4.
I think when you get a look that good, you can't really worry about strategy, especially first quarter. So I'm okay with Oregon deciding to take the shot there.
Oh, yeah.
Feel like you decide to take your foot off the gas, you lose that momentum, you lose your flow. It's better to take the score if you've got it.
And let's talk about what I think is the most interesting and quirky rule of this league. And if I'm wrong, apologies, but I believe at the end of quarters, the clock will strike 0 and the game will continue until there is a score or a turnover. It's kind of like last possession. Which is really interesting because you're out of time. It creates this pressure, but it's not exactly real pressure because you can take as long as you want. So we'll see how that feels here. The buzzer has sounded. This point will either end with an Alpenglow goal or an Alpenglow turnover.
Yeah, we'll see what Soar decides to do, if they're going to be aggressive or just try and prevent that score.
Yeah, time is not a factor for either team. Really, Nelson's going to try to carve out a little teardrop into the corner. They've got the skill and the arrow in their quiver, but it doesn't work here. A bit too far, and that is going to end our first quarter. We got a tie ball game, Chris, 4-4.
Hey, that's fun. I like that. I think on that throw, you could see the wind maybe played just a bit of a factor. That didn't, to me, look like that looked like a great look, honestly, and it just kept sailing. And no pun intended, soaring a little bit out there, and
yeah, and Ari Nelson can definitely hit that shot, and maybe they're feeling a little bit of that time factor I was just talking about, but also they haven't really had a good chance to let it sail yet this game. So
no, I think if you're Alpenglow, you're still happy with that possession.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think both teams should feel fine. They can both clean up their own stuff a little bit, and other than being, struggling with the kind of weird conditions down there, everyone's looking pretty sharp.
Yeah, I mean, this is the second week for the WUL, but the first game for both of these teams. So I think both teams coming out, putting some points on the board, being able to do some things they can be happy with. But also there's probably a couple things both teams would like back. Not surprising for first game, first quarter. And I hope to see the quality improve as we get out to the rest of the game here.
All right, we're going to take a short break. We will see you in just over a minute for the second quarter.
Creatine is only for extreme athletes who eat dominance.
Actually, let's skip that part. Combat Candy is for everyone who trains hard and deserves better than choking down powder. 5 grams of science-backed creatine in a gummy that turns supplement routine into something to look forward to. Just because your workout is serious business doesn't mean your creatine supplement is to me. Combat Candy. Making strength frickin' delicious. Try it at combatcandies.com.
Ready when you are, Bobby.
Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
Welcome back to Portland, Oregon. We've got our second quarter here, Soar versus Alpenglow. We got a tie ball game, 1 break for each squad. Kind of no individual reaching out and dominating quite yet. They're spreading the love out there. This is a great game.
Yeah, I'm interested to see what Alpenglow does on defense. And these teams played last year. They brought out a bit of a junk and a zone look. We haven't really seen that today. But, with a little bit less wind, not quite as necessary.
Yeah, although a little junky there to break up that pull play as Boyden had to get off a high stall. And some, collisions here. A little bit of messiness.
I noticed they switched to a forced backhand towards the end of the first quarter, and looks like they're continuing to do that here for defense.
Yeah, and I think with this kind of weird wind, it can be very useful to just push teams one direction the whole game, whatever is the harder direction to kind of complete throws. This is the first time we've seen people really stick to this high side. Boyden is going to give it a look. Hammond is underneath, but they run out of room. Give a bit of a trust throw there from some longtime teammates.
Yeah, I know she flipped the hat off, but I don't think that was the difference in her catching it or not. It just was a little bit too far off the field.
Last time this Alpenglow defense had the ball, they scored a break. They're 1 for 1 on break chances. See if they can keep that streak going.
Getting a little bit of momentum here.
O'Connor is going to be probably going every other here for this group.
Looks like a pick was called.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it seems like Soar's really been leaving this break side open on this possession. I don't know if that's by design.
Yeah. I think they'll continue revealing some stuff like that. Disc will go back, probably around stall 1 as players reset. Back with O'Connor. Boy. High to low here.
On the break side
Another
now.
collision in the middle of the field. Bodies colliding a little more forceful that time. Everyone seems okay. It's going to stay over here with Nicole Havel. And a little pre-stall.
Yeah, another one of those rule differences, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you'll see players start moving before people are allowed to throw after calls like that. O'Connor is going to try to reach for someone who had space, but the throw's a little low. And a nice poach block, Zoe Luke. This Oregon Soar team gets it back, but they've got a long way to go. They've got a lot of work in their legs already. Here's Hammond. A lot of pressure there, but finds their target. Hammond finding room.
See some communication there between Takahashi and Luke, the deep cutters.
Yeah, players are getting open deep, hesitant to throw them, but Takahashi's going to take a look, and this time Hammond is there. The throw is good. Huge huck score for Oregon Soar. They start this quarter with a dirty hold.
Didn't have to flip the hat off for that one. Fantastic grab. What's interesting, looking at some of the stats from last year's game, is Oregon Soar had a really high huck completion rate, and we're seeing that today play out as well. On the season, actually, their huck completion was only average, but you know, against Alpenglow, they were able to do some things, and I know for the fans, it's a little more exciting. Everyone loves the long ball.
Yeah, Alpenglow too, a big hucking team last season, especially Ari Nelson, who only had one look there at the end of the first quarter. And I feel like that's kind of how games here in Portland go. You gotta just see what the disc is going to do in this stadium condition, and then you get more comfortable and you can kind of let it fly a little bit.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up, Bobby. In their game last year, really low huck completion percentage for Alpenglow, but on the season, they were actually the league leaders by a wide margin. 66% huck completion rate, which was, I think, like 15% above a lot of the other teams.
Wow.
I don't know if it's that Colorado air and the home field advantage, but yeah, we'll see if the long ball comes into play.
Yeah, Nelson has an opportunity at one, thinks better of it. It's the Soar defense able to clamp down. But they're going to slow down a little bit here. A little slick let go there from Nelson, who gets it back. Power position. They are just grinding down this open side, smooth and steady, and it is Ito again who is kind of separating from the crowd on the stat page. Wonderful throw there from Thorpe.
Great cut by Ito. Just so much space, makes it so easy for your handler. Those types of open, clean looks is what you always want from your offense.
Yeah, and that's the first time I think this game we've seen either team kind of just run away and just get a stretch of gainer after gainer after gainer. Just better timing downfield, a little better execution. That was slick. That's going to be tough to stop.
Yeah, I agree. Alpenglow looked really comfortable there, I think, other than midfield where the disc held up for a little bit. Score still 5-5. Neither team really able to break away here. We'll see what Soar is able to do.
And Soar bringing in Torres here for an O-line point as Jelly Boyden takes a rest. And also Colorado throwing something a little different, a little zone that I think they just about transitioned out of.
Yeah, they're out of it now, but I'm glad you said that, Bobby.
And Matonis tries to sneak it around. Players thought it was down, but it is indeed up.
Yeah, called
Torres
up by the observer.
Takahashi calls for it, gets it. And 44, Brooke McKelvey might have suffered an injury here on the mark. We're going to take a timeout here.
Probably a good decision by Takahashi to holster.
Yep, slow it down, yeah.
Looks like maybe she's a little shaken up on the play also. I missed it. There must have been some contact.
Yeah, might have just taken a weird step. We'll take a little break here. We'll see you back when we're back in action here in Portland, Oregon. It is 5-5, 7:30 left here in the second quarter. We are back here in Portland after a short injury timeout. Brooke McKelvey helped off the field. They're going to receive some attention here. Megan Jameson is going to step in. This is the Oregon Soar O-line trying to hold cleanly here. 5-5, 7.5 minutes left. Hammond grinds one out under. He's going to try to reach for a bounding Soar player. It's Emily Posey, and that is in the end zone. Soar maintain their slight lead. It is 6-5.
She's definitely a player to watch with her experience on the under 20 and 24 USA teams. A great offseason addition for Oregon Soar, so putting her mark on the game early here.
Yeah, from Portland, Maine. Nice to make the opposite coast connection, and the assist from Merle Hammond from Florida. Almost touching all four corners here on that one.
Something Soar's been pretty good at so far in this game is their red zone offense. That's definitely something they struggled with last season, and so far today has been a strong point, I would say. Really patient, good looks, taking risks where they need to.
Yeah, and you'll see Caitlin Fitzgerald's down there in the yellow shirt playing with the Soar here after moving from Boston. Not suited up today, but they are going to be a player to watch if our previous Winter Goldie League that you and I played taught me anything. Taught me that.
Yeah, unfortunately
pretty good.
For Fitz, it sounds like she's got a back injury this week, so hopefully she'll be able to shake that off and come back. But another one of the Soar captains.
Yeah, Fitz not playing this game here. Maddie Thompson, Adele Skatina, Allie Steinfeld. A couple people not suited up for the Soar. Can't play everybody every game.
Alpenglow working backwards here. A little bit of switching and pressure from Soar.
Yeah, a nice pressure over the top. Grace Alston gets her first block. Great job following up her teammate who took away the under Another throw that kind of flows over the top. Sylvie Barnes with a nice disc securing play. Torres here having a nice game of just moving the ball. A lot of contact on the mark. It's going to find somebody, and we're going to push farther into the end zone. It's Grace Alston for the left and right bookend, and that is an Oregon break. 7-5. They are out to their biggest lead of the game.
Well, Soar fans are sure letting them hear it in a good way. This is such a great start for this Soar team that had a tough season in their inaugural season last year. Interesting, the turnover was in the same part of the field where we've seen a few throws sail just a little high towards the sideline.
Yeah.
I think it's a little bit of the quirk of the field. And Alston with the bookends. Always what you're going for as a defensive player.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, great pace there from the Soar defense group after picking up. And along with red zone kind of completion percentage, I think the most interesting thing is what happens after a break. You have to send some tired players out there to try to hold again. You have to bring in different bodies, kind of mix things up. It really tells you a lot about your team.
Yeah, we'll see what they do here. Nice hang time on the pole.
Yeah.
Should give them some options.
Nelson is back here again with Hecht. Ito and Thorpe are still on the field, downfield as well. Thorpe. Just going to look for the around. Lots of room here for Warringah. They're going to stay on this sideline.
Ito's back there. We'll see if they can find her.
Yeah, nice left to right movement. It's a little behind Ito, and even their sure hands cannot quite slow it down enough. Another break chance here for Oregon. Lamont. With Lauren Carr. Those two have been excellent. Nice poach block there from Sarah Levin. Definitely a playmaker on this Alpenglow team. Nelson.
All right, I think I've got a chance to hold now with that.
High stall. Needs to go somewhere. Finds room, and the disc definitely catches a breeze. Both players kind of just having to go up a little earlier than I think they wanted to, and it just sails right over the top.
Yeah, I think both players maybe got kind of a bad read on that. Just over their fingertips.
Yeah, and I think we had a substitution potentially on the near side.
Okay, looks like a timeout. That makes a lot of sense. Like, you can't just sub without calling that timeout.
Yeah, first timeout of the game. You are allowed to switch players around during a timeout, making them a really interesting resource in this league.
I like this timeout call by the Soar. You know, they've got a break, they've got some energy, but at the same time, or momentum, I should say. You want to conserve your energy, but also come up with a strategy here. You got about 4 minutes left, I think, maybe 5 minutes left in this quarter. Not a bad time to take a little bit of a breather, refocus, try and complete this block. I think that poach on the last possession for Soar is really close to being a completion, maybe looking a little too far downfield. Could see their offense setting up a little bit closer. I'd be curious what the coaches are talking about down there.
Yeah, Oregon definitely bringing out some different players here to try to punch this one in. Takahashi, Matonis, Rachel Egan, Merle Hammond. Torres is going to stay on the field. Alpenglow, I think, making some changes too. They don't want all their primary O-line players to be out here too long, so they're going to have to make some changes here. O'Connor comes on. Bristol Lavoie. It's worth talking about the Alpenglow's absences also here this weekend, particularly Jade McLaughlin and Alicia Dixon, Blair Sevier, 3 just incredible players who they rely on a lot, not dressed here for this road trip for them. Egan, high sideline. Another great poach block from Colorado. That's Coco Pellegrini. See if these fresh legs for Colorado can do it. 10 yards away.
Too bad for Oregon not being able to take advantage out of the timeout, break opportunity, especially on another poach defense like that.
And O'Connor, go up line. The disc hangs. Almost has a second chance at the back, but not quite.
And that's the second throw we've seen to that corner, just sail just a little bit more.
Oregon now having trouble getting out of their own side of the field here in this point. And it's interesting to note here that they've brought some O-line players out here, so if they do not score here, wow, an incredible play from Zoe Luke, but I think we're going to have a stall called previously. Wonderful stuff from Luke, but stall rose too fast for Hammond, who agrees.
Okay, that's too bad. There was a little contact on the reception, but Alpenglow another chance for the hold here. It's interesting what you said about those offensive players, Bobby.
Got a little pick downfield before we get started too much here. We'll see if the stick stays with Havel.
Something we haven't talked about, Bobby, is the dimensions of the field. And
yes,
10 yards doesn't seem like a lot, but it is an 80-yard field. And I think Oregon Soar getting caught, backed up on their end zone, definitely feeling all 80 of those yards right now.
Yeah. When you have to start from 0, 80 is quite a lot. And it looks like we have a timeout here from Alpenglow, who are going to match the strategy here, maybe get some new players on. But the difference here is they are 20 yards away from scoring, where Oregon was 80 yards away. So we'll see if it's a little better success rate here.
Yeah, we've had some pretty good action, so it doesn't feel like it, but it's actually been about 2 minutes since that last timeout. So could see Alpenglow really wanting to be able to get this hold here. I'll be curious to see, I would assume Soar comes out with the defensive line.
I think so. Yep, and we got mostly the typical offense group for Alpenglow huddled out there. Looks like they'll take the field.
Potentially some fresh legs for Alpenglow.
Yeah, and I'll shout out McKelvey, who went down with an injury. It's hard to grind out a long point with a lot of turnovers after one of your friends goes down and you have to see them helped off. So Alpenglow trying to keep their heads in the game, even if their hearts are kind of leaning elsewhere. But a couple timeouts, halftime break coming up should help with that. We'll see if this O group can get back on the right page. Start with the league leader in throwing yards last year, Ari Nelson. O'Connor now.
We'll see if they can get onto the break side of the field here.
And Abby Thorpe tries to reset around the edge, but Sandrine Girard says no from Montreal. And now we're going deep. Grace Olson, who just had Oregon's last break goal, can't quite get there after nice pressure from Bristol Lavoie. O'Connor shoots right back. Plenty of room for Thorpe, who's going to secure it.
What a bid, what a grab.
And with a lot of room and no mark, Thorpe takes their time. Barnes unable to play defense alone, and Colorado has a long, hard-fought hold. And they cut the lead. It is 7-6, Oregon's lead with 2:14 on the clock.
I don't know if both teams got a little impatient coming out of that last time out, but to see a couple of hucks go up, I imagine both teams might be happy to see this point be over. There's about 2:14 left in this quarter right before halftime, so still time for a little bit of strategy.
Yeah, and this like faster pace, it's just really hard because you have your off season to build some strategy and identity ideas, but you don't get to practice them in full until you play the game. But then the game just goes so fast. It's kind of a little whiplash moment. So I think we'll see a lot of changes after halftime.
Yes, absolutely. Especially Oregon Soar having so many new players. See how that disc hangs over here?
Yeah, catching something. We got some flags flying over here. Boyden picks up. Luke in the middle.
Person.
Try to push it again. Hammond has steps, but it's a tough direction to go, kind of into the wind. Luke has a cannon there on the forehand, but that one sails away.
Yeah, they played person D there. I wonder if that's to maybe bait the long look and get something going.
And Oregon had some huck success, and they have steps basically every time they take the field, but the reason they have room back there is because it's tough to complete. We have Alpenglow with their first break chance in a while.
We'll see if they can get out of this side of the field.
Yeah, this is probably proven to be the tougher direction to go overall. And we've got a player free downfield.
Great
Waringa's not going to take it.
By Soar to get in those passing lanes.
Yeah.
That would have been a good huck look.
Still trying to play catch up here. And they do block on the high side. Might be Haley Bullier, sorry, on that high side. Bullier. Boyden will pick it up.
Great job of getting that passing lane, getting that disc.
And they are just going to push it right away. And that disc is hanging. Hammond has it near the end zone, and they have it in the end zone. Kawabata can't get over the top. Hammond fights them off, and Oregon Soar keep their 2-point lead. It's 8-6.
I think they really needed that. Great job by Hammond to score again, showing a little bit of that veteran presence. Exactly what the team needed right now. And you could actually see where that disc was soaring a little bit. I think we've talked about it in that end zone a few times already. I honestly probably worked out for Soar because they ended up being in. I don't know if that huck originally when it went up, I didn't think it had the legs to get there.
Me neither, and then it just caught the breeze. Yeah, there's definitely some stadium effects. So as the disc goes up and down, it's going to kind of catch different jet streams. It might speed up, it might slow down, it might flip over. It's kind of a gamble every time you throw it over 20 yards. But it's paid off more for the Soar so far.
We'll see what they do with the pull here with about a minute 12. I think there could be some strategy.
Yeah, at some point you do kind of want to possess it just a little bit if you can run the clock out and make sure the other team can't score.
Yeah, on the sideline here.
Nelson gets it off this trap line. Hecht, O'Connor playing their second straight offensive possession here. High side, Kennedy McCarthy. Thorpe. Can they get it back to this low side? I'm going to start with McCarthy.
Nice job by Soar, forcing that difficult throw. They lost some yardage on that.
Now the downfield defense is great. Mostly just swinging back and forth here.
Another tough swing.
Yeah, nice play by Nelson. Hesitating a bit to take risks downfield. Nelson, no mark.
Got about 15 seconds left. I imagine they'll hold on for last possession.
Unless Nelson can gain the line. They don't. They're on the doorstep. Pop it over to Abby Thorpe.
I think there's 5 or 6 seconds left.
Yeah, goal for Colorado. A bit of time on the clock. We will play one more point, but that's a nice little clean hold there. Going left, right, high, low for Alpenglow. They are down 7-8 right now.
Yeah, we haven't seen a ton of clean holds after those first couple to start the game. That's been one of our faster points.
Yeah.
Big possession here for Oregon Soar with 5 seconds. Definitely want to have that momentum going into the halftime. In the second half, I imagine they'll put their strong O-line.
Yeah, kind of a funny little point here because you imagine Oregon will have the disc for 5 seconds. So, Colorado can't really score. So you can kind of just put in all your block getters, a super D-line. And Oregon's probably just putting out their regular offense also. But, yeah, maybe you want to put a big, tall, deep back there if you're Alpenglow. Maybe a big receiver if you're Soar. But looks like mostly same groups here. As Torres gets in the game. Posey and O'Connor almost gets another Colorado poach block. Matonis down the line for Takahashi, just in bounds. They're going to try to reach down that same sideline. The disc stays in. It gets far enough, and it is Merle Hammond once again reeling in a deep ball. Oregon Soar take a 9-7 lead as the clock expires.
Great job by Soar, narrowly escaping that poach block you were talking about, Bobby. And then they came out with a clean hold after time had expired, and a great way to start their season with a strong first half.
Yeah,
they've got to be really excited.
We've talked about how they have yet to win their first game as a franchise, although they've been close. That might be their first lead at halftime as a franchise, which probably feels pretty good for them. All right, that'll do it for us. We are going to take a short break. We will see you after halftime. Thanks for joining us here in the Western Ultimate League in Portland, Oregon.
Creatine is only for extreme athletes who eat dominance.
Actually, let's skip that part. Combat Candy is for everyone who trains hard and deserves better than choking down powder. 5 grams of science-backed creatine in a gummy that turns supplement routine into something to look forward to. Just because your workout is serious business doesn't mean your creatine supplement is me. Combat Candy. Making strength frickin' delicious. Try it at combatcandies.com.
fired up. I just jumped out of my seat.
Wow! What a beautiful grab.
Second quarter. Let's throw it over to Chris Lee, who was talking to some coaches before the game, see what they were thinking.
Thanks, Bobby. Yeah, I got a chance to talk to both coaches before things kicked off here. I'll start with the Alpenglow as a visiting team.
Yeah.
Obviously, we talked about their season last year already. So this year, the approach is really about being consistent. You know, I think they want to change a few things, but not too much. They went 6-0, so
they did great.
You know, there's not a lot to change there.
Yep.
And I think something else that I learned talking to those coaches is just the amount of passion that the entire team has.
Yes.
The amount of care their players have was really impressive. And I asked specifically about how do you overcome, you know, kind of heartbreak in the championship. And they said half fuel, half forget. And I think that's a really good approach, right? You can't hang on to that, but really do, you know, 6-0 is something to be proud of.
Definitely.
So, and then shout out to their assistant coach, Jeff. It is his first WUL game. So first half under his belt at this point. For Oregon Soar, they've got a lot of new players. So just being able to have a fresh start. You know, Coach Putnam talked about grit, grind and defense being
Hell
really
yeah.
important to their identity. I think we've seen a lot of that in the first half already, so hopefully they can keep going and bring that into the second half here.
And they're going to keep it going. A hand block from Torres on Ari Nelson. Not expecting Ari Nelson to get hand blocked at any point in their career, let alone right in front of me. But Oregon quickly out to a break chance.
Little bit of maybe a communication issue there. I'm not sure the receiver even knew the disc was up. Soar, yeah, great way to start the second half with another break chance.
Yeah, and they just can't get organized downfield. And Abby Thorpe makes a great play. And they are going to keep pushing their gap downfield. The throw is caught just outside the end zone. Ito in isolation. Doesn't quite have the wheels as Thorpe tries to get it out into an open spot. It's a second turnover here at this point.
Decent
Colorado.
throw to space, but
Yeah.
not quite enough touch.
Yeah, and we'll keep talking about it because it matters. The wind is kind of variable out there. It's a throw maybe you made 10 minutes ago that isn't available now. And here is a near disaster for Oregon, but they do complete that around.
Sometimes better to be lucky
Absolutely.
if you're sore right now.
And another near poach block. Sylvie Barnes brings it in, but catches a body. I think they're going to take a substitution after that. Zoe Luke, O-line all-star, going to come in, take the ball.
And as you said, Bobby, Soar really having a little bit of a hard time getting the disc into that midfield. I talked about it as one of the keys to the game is defending the middle of the field. Alpenglow doing a really good job of that right now. I think, Soar maybe trying to build a little bit of chemistry with their handlers and cutters.
Yeah, and after a little pause here, they get an opening downfield, and that ball catches another jet stream. Even the speedy Grace Alston can't get there, but it's going to give the Alpenglow 80 yards to work here.
Not a full-on punt, but definitely yardage game.
Yeah, not a shot you're afraid to take as a D-line. McCarthy here has been integral to this offensive group today.
Shout out to all my D-line players. I know we've got that maybe higher risk mentality. I think that's the right approach for Soar.
Yeah, and I know this Colorado group likes to play not high risk, but they like to play spicy. But again, Thorpe cannot find the right little pocket of space. Nice block there from Soar. They have their third break chance here today, or this point, excuse me.
Does seem like the winds maybe picked up a little bit here. Soar finally able to beat that bracket.
And a little carve cut that almost always works, not on Sarah Ito, who gets a little reach around tap block there. Nelson now.
Ito read that perfectly.
And another tight window, just can't quite get the thumbs under it there. Kennedy McCarthy. And first game, our second marathon point here of the day. Not something you get to practice very often.
Got to see a little fast break action there from Soar.
And the stall is rising, and they have to simply throw it to anyone. Unfortunately, it's an Alpenlow player, but I believe there's also a stall called. Either way, that disc is coming back to Colorado.
7 seconds goes fast. I know as a handler, sometimes you're just preconditioned to not even panic until you're at 6 or 7, but in the WUL, that is not going to work.
Already 2 minutes off the clock here in this third quarter. Finally, some breathing room here for Colorado. But can they get the right shape on the throw? They can. It's Sarah Ito from Sarah Levin. Finally, Colorado gets their opening hold.
About 2 minutes off the clock for that first possession. Alpenglow able to get the hold. They're only down 1 now. A break here would tie it, so that's got to be pretty motivational for their D-line.
Yeah, and you'll take them any way you can get them if you're Colorado right now, even if it takes a little while. Time not quite a factor yet, but we will need to keep our eyes on there if Soar can maintain this 2-point lead.
And I think it'll really come down to some of the things we've seen already is, can the handlers continue to hang on to the disc? They've done a good job so far, but then being able to find those upfield opportunities has been the challenge for Soar. And I think if they can maybe make some small adjustments, it looks like Alpenglow's done a good job bracketing in the middle of the field there. Being able to work around that. It's a lead, but it's a small lead.
Boyden having trouble getting around the mark. It gets tipped, but it does get there. And Egan has to just get a fingertip on it, reels it in.
Huge grab.
Resets to Boyden. Oregon struggling to get off of that high side. Nice downfield defense from Colorado. Hammond now with some yards. Takahashi trying to wait for things to clear up downfield. Boyden gets it around to the high side.
Soar finally looking like they've got a little bit of rhythm.
And Takahashi makes a nice inside move. Boyden hits them in the numbers, but it is not quite enough. Colorado trying to go quick. Bristol Lavoie makes a nice play in the air. Jelly Boyden a bit late on the contest. Lavoie's going to take a breather. Abby Thorpe's going to come in for them. I believe Boyden's also going to take a sub here.
Yeah, that's too bad to see. Just a little bit of a dangerous play there.
Yeah.
Certainly not malicious. Jelly probably thought they had a chance to make a play on that.
And a great catch downfield. Alexander Guy, who's had a couple of those today.
Two targets, one defender. A little small ball give and go there.
Yeah, and a lot of open players here after kind of a funky switcheroo and then a big huck. But Colorado comes out of half, gets their break right away. Huge. This ball game's tied 9-9.
Absolutely. Did what they needed to do. Put a little pressure on Soar. Tie ball game.
Yeah, just a small little mistake. Receiver downfield can't reel it in. Colorado does a nice job to just kind of run away as fast as they can. They just keep running.
And based on what we've seen so far, Bobby, I think that's what this game is going to come down to.
Yeah.
Is who's able to execute more consistently. You can see Alpenglow's experience and success showing through here in the second half. Down 2 at half. Not terrible, but now tied up. They're only looking ahead from here.
Yeah, second O group coming out here for Oregon. See Lauren Carr, Caitlin Osborne, a couple of different players stepping on the field for the first time this half.
Other than that drop towards the end, Soar did have some pretty good connections towards the end of that point.
Yeah,
Not
Luke
sure if
with
they made
room.
an adjustment.
Luke going to play into the space. And once again, kind of can't find the right edge as that disc sails out of bounds. It's going to come up to about the 25-yard line. Alpenglow right back on the break train.
Oh, they're bringing that back a little bit too. We've seen a couple of deep shots from Luke, haven't quite worked out.
Yeah, I know Connor, who I was kind of surprised not to see on that last 3-point, is out here for Colorado. So is Bristol Lavoie. He's part of that break team. Last point and a bobble here on a reset to Mary Andrews. Soar get a gift.
Absolutely. I'm sure they want a mulligan after that last look.
Now Luke again starting the action. Kimmy K, 31 downfield, gives and goes.
Nice job
3
to get
yards
off the
out.
line there.
Nice around to keep things central. And a nice little right-left hop from Zoe Luke. Make sure to catch that in the end zone. That's a critical Oregon hold. They are up 10-9.
Nice job by Luke to get open there, but also just to be able to shake off that, huck look from earlier. I think that's her second or third score today. One of their returning players they're going to look to a lot.
Yeah, the deep game,
Good for them.
deep throwing game not quite working out for Luke, but the legs and the receiving are doing wonders, especially in a point where most of the starters are sitting. Critical.
And good to get some points after halftime. We're about halfway through this quarter.
Yeah, about a quarter and a half left here. Any No teddy yet.
Huh?
Mark. Run into the break side. So we'll get the clamps on, but step around. They are up 13-12.
You can see the poise. Red zone. Last season, Alpenglow 65.3% conversion rate, and I'd argue they've probably been a little bit higher than that today. Definitely experience coming through here will be really important as both teams looking to close out the game. And by getting a break to start off with, kind of have flipped the script for how this quarter might play out.
Yeah, Oregon kind of tricking themselves there that last point. Don't want to put yourself into the coffin corner if you can avoid it. Kind of playing with fire there, and they get burned. But they are going to get another chance here to find it. Actually, as the second O group for them comes out, and they have been crushing it today. It's nice to see their confidence in their whole depth today.
Yeah, Matonis looked like maybe had a deep look. I couldn't see if there was an actual cutter. I knew she likes to rip it. Might have been the right decision just to play the yardage game a little bit. Soar able to get a little bit more movement and motion here.
Yeah, and Posey's going to try to keep her game going. Kind of can't get a clean throw off, and it lingers, and Colorado is able to close the gap, get a block. They have a break chance again here, 2 points in a row. Alston almost gets a poach block. Nice help downfield, keeps this Colorado team close. O'Connor has been running things, and they're going to take a look, keep the energy going. But Ava Peterson is all over it, closing that gap immediately. Huge play there for the Soar.
Great defense there. Huge for Soar. They absolutely need that right now. Looks like there was a call on the field. An injury
call made. Grace Alston here, who was near the mark, is going to have a seat. Merle Hammond coming on to replace. Alpenglow going to respond with a substitution of their own. So Rose Bransford steps on. Play some defense here.
All right, Soar another chance, but they will be starting backed up against their own end zone.
Yeah, we have rarely seen, if at all today, a team make it all 80 yards this direction. But Posey's got a chance and a look. They have been completing these all day, but now back to back. Not quite the look, but they do get it down the field. Colorado's got 75 yards to go here.
Definitely going to have to work for it.
Good change there from the new player, Bransford, who is going to take a look. There's a lot of room down there, and they find their target. Mary Andrews finds one of the leaders here. O'Connor gives it right back. 8 yards out now here. Second break chance for Colorado, who are going to be fine with taking their time with this as they have a lead here as the clock ticks.
Yeah, that was a sneaky throw from O'Connor.
Nice job not to let the second break throw go off there from Soar. And I see some arms waving. I believe we have a stall on the mark there.
I was just about to say, Bobby, good patience by Alpenglow, but maybe a little too patient there.
No, but I think we have a timeout. Colorado, who saw this potential stall coming, coaches blow the horn. They can call timeout whenever they want. They can call it if they think it's at stall 6. I think Colorado does it there. They're going to keep the ball. Huge job there by Colorado coaches.
Well, and I believe that's their last timeout of this half.
I believe it is.
So strategically, they'll be working without a timeout for the rest of this half.
Yeah, as we get under 9 minutes here, I think that's probably a worthwhile trade. You keep the disc near the Soar end zone. You have the lead. Time is on your side here. You get to bring in your O-line, which they have done here. Ari Nelson, maybe the best thrower in the game, gets to pick it up to throw in a break chance.
Yeah, huge opportunity for Alpenglow. Soar will need to put a very strong D-line, try and get this disc back.
Yeah, and they will do just that. D group is out here. Nice to see Cami Lamont back on the field after taking an injury at the end of that third quarter. Nelson. Quick around Thorpe. He's going to try to carve space. They do. A continuation into the end zone. It is Ito who has been clutch today from the very first goal to this recent one. Another break. Colorado 14-12.
Wow. Really continuing the momentum from the third quarter, being able to get another break here. Incredible job by Alpenglow to refocus at halftime, showing that experience. Soar here, I think, has a chance to make a statement for themselves, though.
Exactly. With this kind of Soar 2.0 kind of vibe they're saying, you have a blank slate. You can be whoever you want to be. Kind of the flip side to that is this Colorado team has been here before. They've faced these troubles together, which is an advantage for them. So kind of optimism available for all sides as Oregon is going to use one of the, I think they had 2 timeouts left. So they're using one here to try to bring it back in together. They're going to need a hold, and then they are going to need some action on defense. See if Coach Putnam can put the right pep in their step.
Bobby, I'm glad you mentioned Soar 2.0. That's definitely something of a focus for the coaching staff. And I think really thinking about opportunities for newer players to find their roles. And this is definitely going to be one of them, right? Down 2 points in the fourth quarter, first game of the season. They are on their way to doing that.
Yeah, and we've seen a ton of them already step up today and have these stretches where they look dominant, but it's kind of faded from the foreground here, anyone kind of stepping into the moment. So the stage is set. We'll see who comes through that door.
Yeah, I'd love to see them make some type of adjustment. They have really, struggled moving the disc into that midfield. They've had a couple of huck looks, but mostly been in the backfield. So, for Oregon Soar, they just need to get a little something going. Once they were able to get some fast break earlier in the third quarter, they did okay. I think just being able to find those opportunities and create those opportunities will be what they try and do if they want to make this comeback.
Oregon here will start the middle field. Might be our first out-of-bounds pull of the game.
Yeah, I think so.
Kind of surprising with the tough throwing conditions, but they get to start in the middle. They get to see the defense, person defense here. Another sweep play. They're going to Luke, who has Hammond, who has to make a great play, but they are near the far sideline, and they did not keep that foot down, just pushed a little too far. And again, Colorado with a chance to break.
That's too bad, Bobby. I like that they came out in the vert stack look. I think they'd played a little bit more hoe earlier in this half. And other than that throw being a little out of bounds, I think they had a really good flow there in their offense. Yes. So Alpenglow now with another break chance.
Yeah, and Abby Thorpe actually playing again on this point. They've played a couple in a row. Colorado doing a little bit of line crossing over here as we have an injury downfield, unaffected from the play, but I believe it happened a throw or two ago. Zoe Luke is going to step off the field. They're going to connect Rachel Egan into the game. Alpenglow seem happy to sit with their 7, who were about to just gain a huge chunk of yards. Going to let that ride.
Yeah, that would have been about 20 yards there, being the difference. So,
yeah, about 7 minutes and change here left in this one. Thorpe right away to Stockdale. And Thorpe, it's been hard to stop the second half. They have found their groove. And a little bit clustered, but Kalbata
a little more active than they were earlier in the game.
And a great around there from Alexander Guy. Colorado has done a great job this game, just spreading the field, making you guard every inch of it.
Great defense by Takahashi.
Here's Thorpe.
Excuse me.
Happy to play small ball here. And a miscommunication, but the throw has a lot of touch and just squeaks out of the hands of Haley Bannis. Oregon will take every chance they can get here. Boyden walks it to the line.
Tough spot of the field there.
Nice reset here, Matonis. Oregon struggling to get out of this side of the field, and not struggling right now is Abby Thorpe, flying through the air, gets a fingernail on it, gets the ball back for Colorado, who have their third consecutive break chance here.
Huge bid.
Huge.
Absolutely read that play. I think Soare's got to make that throw just a little sooner.
Kawabata, nice move, getting open again near the front of the stack, and they are going to punch it in. It's Grace Brown with the wonderful continue. 3 breaks in a row. It is 15-12 Colorado.
Another score by Grace Brown. Alpenglow definitely pulling away here. About 5 minutes left. This is do or die for Soar. This is a huge possession coming up for them. Seems like both teams may be getting a little bit tired here, Bobby.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Oregon really using their depth well. The first 3 quarters, just scores, assists coming from everywhere, and now it's Colorado kind of flipping that. Kawabata finally getting involved on the stat sheet after making some great plays. And they look like they're having fun finally, Colorado.
I agree. It's good to see. I think Oregon doesn't need to rush too much here, but they do need to be aware of the clock with 5:35 left. I mean, both teams do. Alpenglow with the, being ahead doesn't need to worry quite as much.
And
not sure what's going on right now.
Yeah, for reasons unclear, Colorado is going to pull a little closer here. Might be a time violation, something of the sort. Either way, some more things to overcome here for Oregon.
All
Try
right.
to get some clarification on that later, but I believe Oregon is going to start from pretty far back, and Colorado is going to be able to start wherever they please, kind of like a dead disc start here.
We have not seen the disc in either end zone that much, so definitely risky situation for Soar. They have had a trouble moving the disc.
And a little bit of a zone here from Colorado for the first time. Throw a different look when the other team is trapped in their own end zone. Oregon finding space, but still in their own spot here. And Merle Hammond doing something they love to do, which is pop through a zone.
There's about 5 Alpenglow players really close to the disc, 4 now.
And another injury called in live action here that kind of must be a comment on like the playing conditions out there. First game, hot turf. It's tough sledding out there.
You can tell things have cooled off a little bit. Sun is behind some clouds right now. I know when I was out earlier in the shade it was quite cool. Temp change is always tough for me when I'm playing.
Yeah, Sylvie Barnes going to come in, get the ball moving. Great switch of fields, Takahashi.
Oregon finally able to connect some throws here.
Great job, Sylvie Barnes finding Takahashi deep. The throw is low, not letting Takahashi get there, but Egan's going to walk through that door. Takahashi to Egan. Oregon have their first score of this quarter. It is 13-15. They are trying to climb out of a hole here.
Great job by the Soar veterans. Takahashi, Egan, I'm sure that connection has scored before. And great to see it here when Soar needs to put some points on the board. And it was a relatively fast point as well, Bobby. It's about 4:52 left in the game. So
considering they started 5 yards deep in their own end zone.
Yeah, that really worked out well, and a chance for Soar to get a break.
Yeah, probably a false start call there on Oregon, which ends in that penalty. So, while they're got a big challenge in front of them, they still have to play by these fast timers and do all the small things right.
And great job by the observers. Different rules. A lot of these are also observers for club and USAU, so being able to know both sets of rules on the fly for something like that.
Yeah, and this D group's been waiting for their chance this quarter. Let's see what they can do. Here's Mayhecht. Unmarked. Still going to take the reset.
Yeah, looks like Soar has an extra defender downfield.
Yep.
Perhaps they're matched up now. Could have been a miscommunication.
And they like that last second inside break there to Thorpe. And again, they're under no pressure from the clock here as Ito chews 30 yards. Now McCarthy. Thorpe takes the space, and then there was rewarded from it. Kennedy McCarthy slips one by two Soar defenders who see it coming, and Abby Thorpe is cooking.
McCarthy very fired up there. Or excuse me, Abby Thorpe very fired up there. I think I could hear her saying, "I want it."
It sure looks that way.
So Soar down 3, 4 minutes left. Familiar territory, unfortunately, for them. Still time to make a comeback, to make something happen here.
Yeah, Merle Hammond back on the field after taking injury sub. Last point. Jelly Boyden. Maybe a couple new faces for this O-line as they're trying to find their superstar here. Not a lot of time to mess around if you're an Oregon Soar. 4 minutes on the clock. Down 3. This would certainly be the biggest accomplishment they have pulled off yet so far as a franchise. They've looked their best so far today that I've ever seen, so let's see if they can keep it going.
Oh, wow.
Matonis keeping the ball alive after an immediate miscommunication, but we are moving here with Soar. Can we keep the ball in? And it just floats. They try to go a little too fast. Caitlin Osborne pushes it a little high. And they need to play fast, but they cannot afford many more turnovers here. Colorado with the ball, who are going to take a look, and they had room, but not quite the right throw. Merle Hammond again is going to take an injury sub after that play happens, bringing on Wen Torres.
So we're getting a little lucky there to get the disc back on that huck look from Alpenglow. That they got lucky the last time with a couple of miscommunications, and they're really going to need to tighten things up if they want to.
Yeah, Wentor is going to pick it up, fresh legs, see what they can do. They've been a good distributor. And trying to do a little soft away shot here that's going to work here for Oregon. But can they keep the flow going? The time rises on the mark, and they try to just put it out deep, but it is not in the right place. Colorado again with the ball. Under 3 minutes left here.
Great cutting by Haley Bollier. Couldn't quite find her in the end zone.
And every throw here, super valuable for Colorado. Every completion is another 7 seconds, but no more completions for them. Let's see if Soar can go fast here.
Yeah, I might need to take a shot if there's a good look.
And they are going to look for it. Posey again. And a great job following through in the deep space for Colorado. Haley Banis is going to smack it down, pick it up.
We'll still need to take some risks here on defense.
Yes, you need the ball back. You cannot allow too many free ones here. They are going to push the ball downfield. And another block here for Oregon. Posey. They are doing it on the defensive side, but they need to find a way here. 1:54 on the clock here. And when Torres is going to take a look, there's a sliver of room. If it can come down soon enough, and through the contact, Caitlin Osborne. Finally, somebody steps up. Osborne flying in. And we have some lingering on the field. Before I finish my sentence, we're going to make sure this one counts. If I were to guess from the body language, maybe a chance at an Oregon timeout called as they were trying to find some way to score here.
Yeah, that seems likely. I'm seeing some gesturing over there. Not really sure.
Yeah, and I saw some Soar players asking if they should take one, but didn't see official one called. I mean, you'll take the energy you just gained from that play, but you would rather have the goal than the timeout.
Yeah, I don't think it could have been a stall.
No, I don't think so. And
Okay,
we're going to...
observers now getting together
Yeah?
to talk it over. That makes me feel a little bit better.
Yeah, just make the best call we can here. Oregon will have the disc or a goal here no matter what. We will let the observers give us a ruling here. But a ton of clock just burned on that point. I see 1:42 on the in-game clock here in Portland. The Soar are down 13-16. That is some tough numbers to do the math on.
Well, while we're waiting, Bobby, I'll talk a little bit about the partnership between Soar and the UFA team Steel. It is something unique that we have here in
Yes.
Portland as well as Seattle. So I don't know if it's something we're doing in the Pacific Northwest, but you know, Bill and Darcy of Soar really wanted to be able to point that out to see, you know, both the men's and the women's professional team working together as one cohesive unit. Saw a lot of Steel players in the stands as I was coming in. Coach Timmy
Same.
down there. It's nice to see.
Yeah, huge burden to take on, taking over both the women's and men's team here in Portland. But Bill and Darcy, I think, have done a great job. The product on the field has been very exciting. And speaking of exciting, the result here is that there was a timeout called by Oregon. So we are going to get the ball in Oregon's hands here on the sideline, kind of right in front of our camera. We are not counting that goal. So Oregon will be able to make some substitutions if they choose. Colorado will do the same. And Oregon will have to do it again.
I'm not sure what happened. It took a long time to resolve the situation. I feel like, you know, that's a little bit tough when you're in the heat of the moment to have something take so long and take the momentum, especially on a play like that where, you know, potential score. Kind of a tough break for Oregon Soar, even if they did call the timeout.
And I can speak to the kind of oddity of the timeout rules and usage in this league. I did assistant coach one year. It's just different and weird. You can call a timeout at any moment. You frequently call them at high stalls. And these observers who are reffing two different leagues frequently, you know, they have to be in the right place. They have to hear it. Did they hear it before the throw went off? It's a tough job for that. I appreciate all of our local observers here. We have a great crew.
Yeah, shout out.
And I understand how we come up to some weird situations like that.
Shout out to our observers, Burmeyer, King, and Otto. They've got a tough task, especially both teams want it in a crunch time like this.
Yeah. And Torres stays in, keeps the ball moving. Back with them again. Finds Boyden, who goes tall. Nothing happening afterwards. And as the stall rises, 2 players with a chance. Boyden trying to make anything happen. They need goals. They need it to happen fast. It doesn't work, and now Colorado, tick, tick, back the other way.
I think number 5 had her hand on it in the end zone, just kind of throwing it up there. Looks like Soare's going to get another look.
The dangers of playing it safe means you might give the ball back near the end zone. They do. Oregon is able to punch it in. Caitlin Osborne gets another one. Oregon finally gets their hold. 1 minute, 2 seconds on the clock. Oregon trails 14-16.
Believe that's Osborne's second goal of the quarter and at least third of the game. So talking about players finding their roles and opportunities being available, that seems like one takeaway we can have from this first game for Soar.
Yeah, I am super impressed with just the pure rookies on this team. They have really been playing just as well, if not better, than the returners from last year or the kind of like super returner veterans who took some time off and who are coming back. It's a really cool group, and I think they're really finding some strong voices out there.
So there's a minute and 2 seconds left. They are down to D-line is going to need to make something happen, especially with the last possession rule. If you're not forcing a turn here, you are not going to have a shot to make this comeback.
Nelson, happy to play catch whenever you can. Ito with a nice saving grab. And Thorpe tries to provide the second look and doesn't. That's the worst kind of turnover you can have. The clock, I believe, might stop on that turn. And it's Cami Lamont. Here comes Soar. Torres. Barnes.
What a grab.
Into the end zone. Lamont, 1, 2, 3. Oregon get their quick break.
Wow. So there is 22 seconds left in the game, Bobby. That's exactly what Soar needed, was a quick turn and a quick score. So one more chance to do the same. I think with the clock rules, they will need to force this turnover in the first 22 seconds so that they have the last possession. So, that D-line is going to need to run down there off of the pole and force something very quickly. I think it's probably worth putting extra players in the backfield or, maybe leaving your long shot exposed, that gives you a chance to have the last possession.
That's Sandrine Girard on the goal there, excuse me, as Cami Lamont got that action started. Soar bringing out their usual D-line. They are trusting their depth. They just did it once. Can they do it again? Colorado bringing out kind of a mixture of their O-line. That's Nelson and Hecht probably going to start us off here.
Long hanging pull.
And again, it's just a couple of passes here. Hecht. Lavoie crossing over. It's been a hero for them. Gonna loft it out to space. A great read there,
I believe the
Banis.
clock has run out, so this will be last possession for Alpenglow.
They have secured the win here, and they get to play it out. Everyone's gonna battle through. Nelson here receives the blade. Pop over the top for McCarthy. Hecht takes their first look into the end zone for Nelson. The handlers get it done. Colorado, despite a late quarter scare, they shut the door. They punch one final score in. They are going to lock this game in 17-15.
What a finish, Bobby. Can't ask for anything more exciting than that. Unfortunate result for Oregon Soar, but Alpenglow, I think, can be very excited with the way that they played in the second half in particular. Both teams, coming out very strong. And then the consistency that Alpenglow was looking for, I think they found it in the second half. The experience showing through. and they were able to outscore Oregon by 5 points, right? Soar had 2 at half, and 4 points. 2 at half and losing by 2 here.
Yeah, huge second half for Colorado. They really showed what they have in their reserves here, even without some big names. It's a scary thought for the rest of the league. And another scary thought for the league is this Oregon Soar team, also not at full strength, but showing what they could be capable of, putting a real shock into the last year's undefeated Alpenglow.
Yeah, I think if you're Soar, there's still a lot of really good things to take away, a lot of positives. You know, you had the lead for the first part of the game. You came out strong. You played the way you wanted to with the grit, the grind, and the defense. We saw Soar defense definitely force some turnovers. And, you know, when you're coming off a 06 season, to be able to start here, be competitive all the way through the game.
Absolutely.
Might be a little underrated, but with
Huge.
some of the final scores we saw from Soar last season, this is a really good, strong start for them. The fans are excited and happy about that. And honestly, we saw some new players step up today, and I think that's exciting for Soar as well.
Yeah, it may hurt in the moment, but a lot of good from that game. And as the Soar applaud their legions of fans here, we will leave them in their fans' good graces as we check out here from Portland, Oregon. I've been Bobby Goff, joined by Chris Lee. That'll do it for us here in the Western Ultimate League. Week 2, Colorado Alpenglow over the Oregon Soar, 17-15. See you next time.